Well, I guess DreamWorks didn't like being beaten down for very long. Just a few days after that horrible spin-off side hustle studio straight-to-streaming disaster that was Megamind 2, now DreamWorks has announced another movie. This is The Wild Robot. And yeah, it looks pretty decent, being a nice homogeneous combination of that classic trope of robots in nature, alongside the more modern DreamWorks aesthetic. This isn't a straight-to-streaming movie, this is a full theatrical release. It's DreamWorks actually putting in 100% effort once again. Megamind 2 is probably a memory not even DreamWorks themselves want to really acknowledge. But Peacock's kids will still put it on their YouTube channel and claim it as something that's related to them. Now, with this project clearly being all of DreamWorks' big motions all at once, there's a lot of traits that this movie has to really insinuate that this is a big swing of a production. Because when you look at the casting list at the end of this trailer, it basically rolls out like it's a Studio Ghibli English dub. Several mainline celebrity casts are splattered into this movie. We haven't even heard any dialogue from the trailer yet. What are all these voices are gonna come out from? Do the animals speak? Right up front and center, you have Pedro Pascal, the Disney golden child, and the guy who's soon gonna be the protagonist to everything, and we don't mind that yet. But other featured talents are the likes of Mark Hamill, Catherine O'Hara, Kit Connor, Bill Nye, Stephanie Hsu, and Lupita Nyong'o. Now, I'm actually a couple days late to talking about this, mostly because I've been ill for like 5 days in a row. Apparently, Megamind 2 just actually poisoned my soul for a while, so I've just been passing out, sweating in bed, watching the days go by. And maybe it's because I'm still a little bit under the weather in my brain as I talk here, but I'm actually a little bit more neutral about this movie than I think the average person is. And it's simply just because, yes, this is obviously an original movie. It's great to see DreamWorks pushing the boundaries to do something that's not Megamind 2. It's got a nice aesthetic, it's gotta have a very nice vibe. You can tell this is a really great story enveloping. But it's also kind of one big trope, you know? The kind robot in the middle of nature is like a short film that's been done 1,000 times before. In fact, from what we've seen from this obviously early days trailer 1 footage, it does just seem like the concept of a short put into a movie. The only real difference between this and all the other thousands of examples of references is the robot's designed differently, as is the rest of this world. A couple years back, I made a video that I think was a little bit underappreciated, as much as I don't remember its quality, about the Overwatch short with the very same premise, with Bastion the robot exploring the naturous world, and that had a whole element of him being a war robot and the conflict of the kind-hearted soul of his existence and the war programming inside him. You could also make references to The Iron Giant or all sorts of Studio Ghibli movies again, and really, what I'm getting from watching this movie is this seems to be a well-executed example of a producer of some kind being safe, so far. Obviously, this is still early days. Maybe trailer 2 or 3 will do something subversive that'll really, rustle my jimmies. Yep, we're going with that wording. But so far, this just looks to be, standard. It's DreamWorks doing a WALL-E. WALL-E did well, we love this artsy crap, we love the artsy vibe of cute nature and kind robots, so roll it again. Give it a new lens, give it a new filter, make it look like you haven't exactly copied someone's homework. I still think I'm going to very much enjoy this movie. I imagine it's going to do very well. It's got a stellar cast and there's clearly a lot of budget behind it, but I wonder if it's just playing it safe in a way that's successfully organized. Hey, thank you for making it halfway through this video. Check below whether you are subscribed, because if you are, you can keep up with all movie trailer news. I'm slightly late this week because I've been unconscious the last couple days, but it happens sometimes. Anyway, thank you for making it this far in. Let me know your preliminary thoughts about this movie, and I'll let you get back to the rest of this trailer.
We must become more.
In fact, actually, while I say this is an original film, and it still certainly is, it's kind of original in the way that Orion and the Dark was original, as this is actually based off of a New York Times bestseller called The Wild Robot. What a surprise. Now, this book initially came out in 2016, which is, I mean, to be fair, that is 8 years ago, but still, it's a post-Wall-E, post-Iron Giant, same time Overwatch kind of book. But let's hear a little bit of the synopsis to see if there's any variations or changes we can expect to see. Just see what there is to learn about the actual plot, huh? So, apparently, the epic adventure follows the journey of a robot, Rosum, Unit 7134, Ros for short, that is shipwrecked on an uninhabited island and must learn to adapt to the harsh surroundings, gradually building relationships with the animals on the island and becoming the adoptive parent of an orphaned gosling. Interesting, so it also becomes an element of survival on a deserted island. I guess that is slightly different to the usual trend. And as a little extra additive you can get from the book's premise, ultimately Ros and their animal company must protect the island from a robotic invasion by Ros's manufacturers, looking to bring her back to civilization by any means necessary. You know what? Maybe I'm coming around on the premise of this movie. I think the vibe is very done and cliche, but maybe it's the fact I'm not too used to seeing the second half of a robot short film. You know, you never see them trying to return to civilization or being rejected or fighting something. I'm so used to seeing robots be gentle with bird on their hand that I'm kind of sick of it. But this might be just enough of a spin to count it as decently original that I'm interested in looking at it. I know I'm going to enjoy this movie either way. It's aesthetically on point and great. Just depending on the execution of the whole plotline, it could be a little bit more cliche than I'd hoped. Now, despite all of my cynical grumblings, it does seem like this movie is a 100% crowd pleaser. And in fact, it might even be looking to peer closer towards the Pixar approach of certain movies, whereby there is an element of genuine emotion that could actually, you know, get a tear or two out of their crowd. I'm not familiar with any DreamWorks movie ever really doing that before or even trying to, but this could be one of their first. And if they succeed, this could easily be a top-tier DreamWorks film, regardless of its relatively simplistic idea. Whatever the case, it's nice to see DreamWorks is finally back on their feet. Megamind 2 was just a fever dream we all were meant to forget about. It certainly feels like a fever dream to me, since I've literally been under a fever the last week. So we just need to hold round to September 20th of this year to see this movie properly done, with the proper DreamWorks budget, the proper DreamWorks aesthetic, and hopefully a story that will strike at the hearts of us. Something, honestly, we haven't really had in a very long time. Yeah, I thought I'd keep it short this time. The people behind this production are generally DreamWorks veterans, so I'll let you get back to your life now. I think I need to take another nap. For now, my name's been Daz. Thank you for making it to the very end. Let me know your thoughts on The Wild Robot. You got high hopes? I imagine most people have high hopes. I'm the grumpy one, just because I hold Wall-E too high in my regards. And I will see you in a little bit.